Being from West Philadelphia, sadly, this is probably the same for other inner city dwellers. I don't get to see my idea of democracy often. There are moments and scratches at it, but it's never truly there. What I love about my community here is the people who don't have much, those like me who come from boxing and probable odds to get a higher education. I want to change the divide within my community here. I want to change how we view one another.
Sometimes it feels like democracy is a party and Appalachia's invite got lost in the mail. However, people are still optimistic. They have faith in the democratic process and the ideals it embodies. They put their faith in the government and trust that it will act on their best interests. Does it always work out in their favor? No. But does my community hold steadfast to the idea that it will? Absolutely.
I accept that democracy won't ever be perfect, and I am in love with our human incapability to be perfect. When I was 17, there was a shooting at my high school, and our community decided to speak out with activism and social change. From this, I created Stories Untold, a youth-led movement that continues to tell the stories of everyone affected by injustices in their communities. We marched and marched every day to see change. And looking back within my community, I remembered a chant we used when we marched. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
I'm 17 years old. I'm from Somalia, and we left there when I was really young. And I lived as a refugee in Ethiopia for 7 years. My life was kind of crazy growing up. I spent my life in different places, and I never actually thought about what democracy meant. Now I think democracy is about bringing people together without one being left out, and having a community that's fair and respecting each other's background and beliefs. As a minority Black Muslim in this country, it can be hard to think about.
Joining Teenage Republicans of Massachusetts during my freshman year, I quickly grew to love activism. Realizing that there were no women at the top, I ran for a leadership position. This is what it means to be American. Freedom. I've learned how to be a Republican in a liberal state and how bipartisanship brings people together. In a time so politically divided, it's up to my generation to bring people together to be leaders in our evolving world. To me, democracy is a representation of the balance of voice and power. It is freedom and it is hope.
Democracy is a duty, a responsibility to your people and your home, a responsibility we toil for and hope in. It's our hope to take the power to make a difference, to make that better future for the people and places we care about, the better future that we dream about. It's a hope my generation needs to hold on to, because if we can't, then who can?
Democracy to me is a symbol of doing what is best for the majority of people. Whether that's a good thing or not can be complex. My parents grew up in Mongolia during the Cold War era, and up until they were 15, they lived under a collapsing communist government. When we came to America in 2004, we equated democracy and America with the word better. Better quality of life, better future, and better opportunities. Democracy is our future.
These discussions made me think about our country, the United States of America, a country that claims to be a center of freedom, a place where people can exercise their human rights without obstruction, a place where people are united. We must remember that we are fundamentally linked. We must be able to take our differences and form from them a brighter future. We must be vulnerable and courageous enough to share our real selves with the world. This is, of course, no easy task. But if we don't do these things, democracy will die. And if democracy dies, then the world will become unlivable. I want a brighter future for myself and those who will come after me. And now I know that I must start by continuing to share my story. That I'm the son and brother of undocumented immigrants. That I grew up in what people call the hood. That I'm gay and Latino. That being none of these things makes me unworthy or less valuable than anyone else. During these difficult times, I invite you to look inward. I want you to know that your story matters. Every voice makes a difference. Knowing this, let's move forward together.